Oh my goodness. Good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Wow, it is draft day, and welcome to the NFL draft for 2025, where we all, every single one of these 32 teams, all of their fans have hopes of getting the next superstar. I know I am. I know we need it. And I'm happy as can be. It's amazing. Let me first of all say thank you for the 136,999 people who have subscribed to this channel. I am honored, and it's incredible. I actually went to bed last night with 137. It's been crazy because the Cowboys have sucked so bad. You know, I don't know if YouTube is deleting channels, but we've been hovering at the 137 mark for so long. It's just like it hit it last night, and then this morning it's back down. I don't know if that's one person who's there playing on, off, yeah, but either way, if it was only 10 people who were subscribers, I'd feel honored that you care enough to be a Joe Boo Sports fan. And I appreciate it. 9 years. 9 freaking years. What's amazing for me, and let me not get off track here of the draft and stuff, but so many things happened 9 years ago. It was this time 9 years ago that right now, it was the 22nd of April that I started a petition to get the red brick house saved. I had no intentions of being the one that was going to own it and having to save it. I just didn't want to see a 200-year-old building with so much history in it be lost. Just didn't want it to happen. In January, I saw the Senior Bowl of that year. I saw Dak Prescott outplay Carson Wentz and did a video where Joe Boo was talking and saying Dak Prescott is the perfect quarterback for the Cowboys to draft, and went to that draft in Chicago, got Joe Boo on the stage saying draft Dak Prescott. Also met Jay Tuck there. Jay Tuck, I've been trying to find that video, cannot find that video. I'm sorry, man. I wish I could, from Chicago. And what a ride for 9 years it's been. And we're sitting here, 136,999 people since then. Because that year, Dak Prescott became the starting quarterback for the Cowboys. Tony Romo's career ended. And I got my first 1,000 subscribers by my birthday in October. 9 years. And I'm hoping that this 9th year, that this draft is going to be the game changer that really gets us back. I'm happy, if for no other reason, that we can be done with all of the mindless minutia. You know, everybody hates the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm going to ask a true question here. What would ESPN do? What would NFL Network do? What would FS1 do? What would all of the talking heads do if it wasn't for the Dallas Cowboys? Because, you know, guys up in Cleveland you never heard of, radio hosts that are, old as dirt, older than me even, literally just says trading for Dak Prescott, and it becomes national news. Ain't nobody heard of this guy. Nobody. We've heard so many mock drafts. We've heard so many, potential trade rumors that gets everybody jumping in like a feeding frenzy. We get so much speculation. Here's just this morning. Okay, so yesterday it was, putting this together. Well, the Cowboys said they have 2 big trades that are going in the works. 2 big trades. And Micah Parsons, he hasn't gotten this deal. So it must be that they're trading Micah Parsons. So we got that yesterday. So we had Stephon Gilmore, who came by on basically an impromptu visit, come in to say, hey, how you doing? I kind of enjoyed my time here. If there's space, and so on. And it may be that the Cowboys called him and said, hey, we want to come in, talk to you and things, and we're thinking about signing you, but we're going to wait till after the 28th, so that way it won't hurt us in comp picks and stuff, but we'd like you to be here. And lo and behold, today, I don't know why I don't start these myself, because I'll get labeled a clickbaiter. Lo and behold, I see an article this morning that was the Cowboys about to part with $97 million All-Pro. That's the headlines. Dallas Cowboys about to part with $97 million All-Pro. And what they're saying is that Stephon Gilmore is going to replace Trayvon Diggs, that the Cowboys are going to release Diggs. And it could happen, but it becomes boom. Here's another one for you. What was the other one I had this morning that was really kind of interesting? Oh, this one. I just noticed this one just a few minutes ago. Cowboys wide receiver Jaylen Brooks could be on trade block on day 1 of the draft. The Cowboys be looking to bluster their wide receiver room from the draft after losing veteran pass catcher Brandon Cooks to free agency. Room must be made to create space for incoming rookie contributors, though, meaning it wouldn't be a shock if Dallas Cowboys are open to kicking wide receiver Jaylen Brooks to the curb. Brooks, 24, has been with the Cowboys since he was drafted 244 overall at the 23 draft. Jerry Jones and company were willing to roll the dice on the Harrisburg, North Carolina native, and posted career highs in receptions, 33, and receiving yards in his final campaign in South Carolina. Fast forward to the current offseason, and Brooks has yet to make. They got books. They literally, they forgot the R. I'm sitting here looking at it, and I'm dyslexic, and I'm just like, wait, am I reading it right? Books? Okay, it's Brooks. Has yet to make a notable impact in Dallas. The 6'2", 205-pound playmaker has caught 18 of 36 targets through the first 21 games in his NFL career. So I'm sitting here in my mind. Okay, if the Cowboys end up getting another, wide receiver like we believe they will, you could see that he may not make the roster, but trade block. What do you expect to get for Jaylen Brooks? Trade block? Maybe if you said Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert, okay, he had a good year last year. You looked at that and said, okay, he was the number 2 receiver. I could see if you said that, but Jaylen Brooks? Ain't nobody trading for Jaylen Brooks. It just gets to be ridiculous. And you can just go on and on and on and on. And you realize that the Dallas Cowboys move the needle and drive the conversations in everything. They just do. So with that in mind, we have every prospect out there, as Cam Newton pointed out. You want to go to the Dallas Cowboys because it's going to make your brand. It's going to make your brand. Here's Matthew Golden, again, telling us how much he'd like to be a Dallas Cowboy.
So you mentioned your uncle Kevin Johnson. That's who's going to be in the green room with you?
Yes, sir.
And your mom?
Yes, sir.
That's what it's all about, man. Back on the Rich Eisen Show radio network with our Roku channel stream, we've got Matthew Golden of Texas football here on the Rich Eisen Show. Who have you met with in person? By the way, when Brian Gutekunst left the set, and you saw him, I saw a dapping up that makes me think it's not the first time you've met Brian.
No, it's definitely not my first time. It's definitely not my first time meeting with him. I had a meeting with him 2 weeks ago, and got around the coaching staff. The organization. They did a tremendous job up there. You could tell the culture there is different. I met a lot of the guys, and it felt like home to me.
Did you visit here? So this is not your first trip to Green Bay, as a matter of fact.
It's not my first trip.
Okay. So they brought you in. Who else have you personally visited throughout this process?
I met with Houston, Pittsburgh, Broncos.
Okay.
Detroit. There's a couple other teams, too.
Okay. Any teams in the top 10?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. You don't have to be coy about it anymore, man. Like this, I think the hay's in the barn, Matthew Golden. Like this is it now, right? So screw it. I'll just ask directly. There's a 12th overall pick belonging to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Texas Longhorn fans would be, if we just crossed their desires, they would be pretty pumped if you, a Texas Longhorn, went there. Have you personally visited with the Dallas Cowboys?
I have, yes, sir.
Hey. All right. Have you met Jerry Jones?
Yes, sir.
Oh. What was that about?
It was cool, man. He actually FaceTimed my mom off my phone, just told her she did a great job raising me. Just congratulated her for, the hard work she put in to raise me the right way. It was a cool experience for me.
So you're meeting with him, and he's like, grab your phone, let's FaceTime mom.
Yeah.
He suggested it.
Just like that. Yeah, just like that.
Oh. And so did you know your mom was going to answer?
I knew she was going to answer, but it was my mom pretty busy throughout the day, so I knew she was going to be busy. She answered, and she was surprised,
Oh, it wasn't you and say, oh, somebody wants to meet you. It was him.
This is what I said. I say, Mom, I got a surprise for you. He had the phone. I call him Coach Jerry. That's what I call him. So I said, he had the phone to Coach Jerry, and he was
Coach
talking to
Jerry
him for a good 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
And we have a photo of. Was it at this meeting? Is that where the FaceTiming happened with that man, as you refer to?
Yeah, that's where it happened.
What would it mean to you if you're? Listen, I know you're going to be happy wherever you go, but the
So-
Dallas Cowboys take you. What would that mean? That you star on the side of your helmet, CeeDee Lamb would be across the field from you, Dak's throwing you the football, right?
Yeah.
100,000 fans in the Jones Mahal, as I like to call it.
Mm-hmm.
That sound good to you?
Yeah, it sound real good to me. Grew up I'm from Texas, so grew up a Houston Texan fan, Dallas Cowboy fan. I watched a lot of them growing up, so for that to happen, it'd mean a lot to me. It'd be cool. It'd be a blessing for sure.
Okay, I've got Matthew Golden here on the Rich Eisen Show. Catch the Rich Eisen Show
you go.
live weekday.
Matthew Golden definitely has the Dallas Cowboys some love there. But here's the thing. This goes back to my original premise here with how the Cowboys move the needle. So Rich Eisen is doing, what teams did you meet with and this, that, and the other. When you hear these stories, the thing is you think that they are reaching out to us and say, just giddy to start talking about the Cowboys. They're kind of being fed. Well, there's a team that's got the number 12 pick, and thing on, so they're focusing on creating the story with the Cowboys. Now, that's not to say that Matthew Golden doesn't want to go to the Cowboys. I'm not saying that. But a lot of times you get these things where they basically will pick and choose how to lead a interview in a direction. And I will actually give Jerry Jones a little cover because, he was asked the question about going all in, okay? He's not going to turn around and which led to so much pain. He was basically asked, well, are you going to go all? Yeah, of course we're going to. What is he going to say? Oh no, we're going to half-ass it. We're not going to do jack. You can't answer this question. Sometimes you get put in a position, and so many stories are taken out of context. Now you can take Shannon Sharp's situation there, where they took 15 seconds of a conversation. 15 seconds of a conversation. And you hear that clip, and it's damning. But then when you hear the whole thing, and I don't know if this is the case or not, but possibly you hear the whole clip in the context of how the conversation started and went and everything else, it may actually be totally different than what you think. And so many times, this is exactly what's led out here. So much speculation. Let's go to another one that could be. Okay, that the Carolina Panthers should be interested in Dallas Cowboys first round draft pick. Excuse me. One such player is Mazy Smith, the former first round defensive tackle. He's been pretty much a disappointment since being picked in the first round by the Dallas Cowboys, and news reports suggest that they're mulling a replacement in the draft and cutting the $13 million player. If so, last word on sports, Anthony Palagingis suggests the Panthers take a look at him. The fit is obvious, as the Panthers have spent tons of money reshaping the interior defense. Smith would be fairly cheap and would provide good depth on the defensive line. Believes that Bobby Brown III and Sky Turtle don't exactly make the best defensive tackle rotation between Derek Brown and Wharton. So adding Smith would at least give them another body to throw at the problem. If nothing else, competition will force former top draft choice could spur them to new heights. So here we go. Oh, Mazy. They got to trade Mazy because we've just got tons of defensive line. We just got tons of them. We can just come on, man. Come on. I'm just glad that we're finally here at the draft. Now, if we're listening to the draft experts, we've got it all over the board. We have the Dallas Cowboys themselves basically saying, we hadn't set our board as of 2 days ago because they may be looking at trades and things, and nobody really knows what's going to happen. The wild card being the New York Giants. Do they take Shedeur Sanders? I kind of find it hard to believe that they were Daniel Jones. That's the quarterback there. Yeah, man. And then Shedeur, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Be that as it may. That's the wild card. If Shedeur gets drafted early, then the run on quarterbacks happen, and then some of the other players start falling, and anybody could be there for the Cowboys. And I think the Cowboys, we need weapons. We need weapons. You can say Dak sucks when it comes to playoffs. But when you go to playoffs, that's where all of your problems, your little problems, become big problems. And when you look around the NFL, and I hate to use the Eagles as the model, they have so many things they can draw from. A great offensive line. Best running back last year. Wide receivers and tight end. It's not all in one guy throwing to one guy. You can look at San Francisco the year before with Ayuk, with George Kittle, with Debo, and Christian McCaffrey. Best running back of that season. Made Brock Purdy look really good. But when you take those things away, his numbers dropped like a rock. Yes, Jay Maxwell, I look to hear from you. I know, it's so funny how, Jay, you think I'm an idiot. You can't stand what I'm saying, but you can't stop watching. I bet you're one of those 136,999 people here watching the Joe Boo Sports Report. So it seems like, if you believe all of the different things that we heard, that Ted McMillan is the guy that they really want. The big body red zone threat. They're also actively looking to trade down. Now, what happens with all this? Who knows? Thus far, as this morning goes, there's been no trades in the first round. There's been no trades in the first round. And we'll see if that changes as the day goes on. But let's go to the burning questions before the draft.
The NFL and some Barry's burning questions heading into the NFL draft. Field Yates, what pick by the Cowboys would you consider an A+?
How bad about Tedero McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona, 6'4", 219 pounds. It's an outstanding catch radius. The Cowboys need more juice on this offense opposite of CeeDee Lamb. I think T-Mac would be a good fit there at number 12 overall. I do think there's a chance he gets there, by the way. Just a pedestrian 40 time at his pro day, somewhere in the range of 4.53 to 4.57. But McMillan does so much else at a very high level that he can more than offset that average 40 time. Given that size, too good of a player to pass up. Do I get more time?
This draft might be when the Cowboys... No, I'll go in there. I'll take your time. I'm fine with that. When the Cowboys are on the clock and everyone's seeing running back and wide receiver and all the mock drafts, what if they do what they've done before and they just go interior offensive line? I've got Tyler Booker, the big fella out of Alabama, going 12th overall to the Cowboys. They lose Zach Martin, a huge piece of their offense, one of the leaders, and Booker is an all-world locker room guy and team leader. I have them taking Booker, the offensive guard, over Hampton, the running back, and McMillan, the dazzling wide receiver.
I think, Matt, on Booker, he's an interesting guy. So he ends up right outside the top 32 for me for my final big board. And here's the reason why. There is a much larger number of teams that are now playing the zone scheme in terms of the base of their running game on offense right now. Booker is an incredibly impressive physical talent. He's not a great mover. He is much more of a power player. He plays in short spaces a whole lot better than he does out on the perimeter. The Cowboys, however, would be one of those teams that plays a power running scheme. They would have more appeal. They would see more appeal in Booker than other teams like San Francisco and the Rams and others who play that zone scheme.
All right, Chef, give me your Cowboys A+.
Well, Jerry Jones pulls off the type of trade that he's talking about making. Yesterday, Jerry Jones is making lots of noise about the Cowboys having potentially a major trade in the works. Now, I don't know what major trade is out there. They're not trading Micah Parsons. We'll see if they could trade for another player. But if Jerry is right, and if this team can execute a major trade, that would seem to impact who they would and wouldn't be targeting early on. Let's see if the Cowboys can make something like that happen.
The one thing you can guarantee, the Cowboys will give us A+ entertainment, no matter how they go about it coming up in the draft. All right, Barry's burning question number 2. We talked about the volatility.
We'll end it there because they're going to go to the New York Giants, and we've got a whole day. I got to get the man cave here together for tonight's show. I hope you guys tune in. We'll be giving away some of our autographed plaques that we have. I know David Wiley will be here, and I'm not sure who else is coming. But we'll have some Joe Boo wings, and we'll definitely be following along. We'll end up having our Philly 500 cam to see, although it'll be way late tonight before we see anything from him. As always, I appreciate you guys, and let's hope that we can get our shit together for tomorrow.